Up until Saturday, my 20-gallon tall tank had quite the thick growth of Java moss and salvinia. I had hoped that the leopard Danio would breed and eggs and fry might survive in the tank, but I've been adding vinegar eels to the tank daily for months, have not seen any fry. So I believe I will use the method that Fishman uses and remove Java moss from the tank to a fry starter tank, and then perhaps return at least some of it to this tank. In the process, eggs deposited by the leopard Danios should wind up in the fry starter tank. I think that these boisterous rerio consume eggs and any fry that may hatch in the tank. But if I had a grow out tank going, a fry starter tank, it should survive. But Saturday I went to my local pet store and was surprised to find that they had guppy grass in stock. Now, I had asked that pet store and called around to all the local pet stores asking for guppy grass, and no one had it. So I spoke with the manager who handles the fish department and asked if he was ready to receive Java moss and salvinia, and asked him if he would just do a straight trade for the guppy grass, and he agreed to it. So I came right home and removed most of the Java moss and salvinia from this tank. So it'll be a while before I have a thick growth of plants suitable to hide the eggs of the leopard Danio. But these are fast growing, easily propagated plants. In fact, these are the plants that I trade to my local pet store. Sometimes they pay cash, other times I can just trade for other plants that they have in stock. Here on this desk in my spare room, I have this 5.5 gallon tank set up with a hang on the back filter and a sponge over the intake, ready to receive Java moss once it propagates in the 20 tall tank. I added the guppy grass to a couple of my tanks, mainly my 10-gallon bedroom tank. The binomial for guppy grass is Najas Guadalupensis. The manager at the pet store also included some hornwort with my guppy grass. The binomial for that is Ceratophyllum demersum. It came as one plant, and I cut it in half and planted it on the right. It's another fast growing, supposedly easy plant, so I'm hoping it will propagate well for me, and perhaps I can add it to some other tanks. I think the guppy grass really fills in the barren areas of the tank. Gives it a nice jungled out sort of look. Here on the right side of the tank you can see how the guppy grass fills in about the Brazilian pennywort and the water sprite. The hornwort helps round it off. Finally, on the left side of the tank you can see that the guppy grass blends in nicely with the Pogostemon stellata. It nearly covers the Hygrophila corymbosa dwarf, but I found that that plant tends to do better at least partially shaded. I removed plants from the front where they were receiving full light, but they were turning brown. I offer brine shrimp nauplii to the 3 juvenile white cloud mountain minnow in this tank on a daily basis. They're a bit small for flake food. I'm sure they also nibble on the algae wafers that I offer the 3 cherry shrimp in this tank. I selected a couple of the best female cherry shrimp for this tank. One was already buried, and one small cherry shrimp that's probably a male. But I believe that if the buried female manages to hatch her shrimplets in this tank, I should have a nice high-grade colony for my bedroom aquarium. Here's a look at the smallest cherry shrimp in this tank. I believe it's a little male.